Senator, before you go, we are running out of time. I did want to talk about briefly the Finkel review, your response to it. Everyone's in agreement we need some policy certainty as far as energy policy is concerned. Are you comfortable with what came out in the review? Is it possible to have a clean energy target and perhaps the use of coal at the same time?
Yes, it is. It depends where you set the baseline for the clean energy target. If the baseline doesn't allow for coal-fired power stations to be built, we are not going to build enough, we're not going to have enough generating capacity. That's the bottom line. We used to have cheap electricity, and the measure of that is the aluminium industry. It's basically just congealed electricity. So if we can't afford to have an aluminium industry, that means our electricity is not competitive on world standards. So what we're seeing is the aluminium industry closing down. If the clean energy target is to restore that, so people have jobs in the aluminium industry, we're to have manufacturing that spins off from the aluminium industry, and that a lot of jobs get created from that. We're going to have cheap electricity, or a lot cheaper. There's no way of achieving significantly cheaper electricity without coal. So it depends where that baseline is. If they set the baseline at a level where coal-fired power stations can be built, and they are being built in Germany and Japan and other countries around the world, if they adopt the same standards if we adopt the same standards as they are adopting, say in Japan and Germany, then all will be fine. Although I guarantee next summer they won't be able to build any generators before then. If we have some windless, really hot days, there'll be blackouts, and the political storm will be pretty ferocious.
Well, that's the thing. Is this going to be a missed opportunity if we don't actually get on top of the crux of the issue here?
We need to start building power stations now. Gas is in short supply. Wind and power, they're not usable unless they have backup, baseload backup to ensure stability. They're also not cheap still, at least to build. They are to operate. The only things that could solve the shortage of electricity and make it affordable is coal. And yet, this is almost religious opposition to the use of coal for power stations. So I'm not sure whether we're going to solve it.
Senator David Leyonhjelm, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
My pleasure.